In this video, I'm going to show you how you can count your duplicates, how you can sequence your duplicates, meaning is this the first time or the fifth time that it shows up in the list, and how you can clean up those results. Let's get started. On the left, I have a list of serial numbers that were serviced during the previous month. Some serial numbers were serviced more than once. I'd like to determine how many times each serial number shows up in the list on the left. To accomplish that, I'm going to start by selecting the cell next to our first serial number, and I'm going to use the COUNTIF function. So I'm going to type in equals COUNTIF. Our first argument is the range. So here is the range where I want to look for how many times the first serial number appears. So I'm going to select that. All right, so our range is from A5 to A304. The next argument is the criteria. Well, the criteria is the serial number. So we're going to look how many times the serial number in A5 appears in that range. So I'm going to select the serial number. I'm going to close the bracket and hit enter. Here you can see that the first serial number appeared in that range 6 times. Now before I drag that down, I'm just going to make this an absolute reference. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to hit the starting point of my range back in the formula. On a Mac, it's Command T. On Windows, it will be, I believe, F4. And this puts dollar signs in front of the column and the row. And I'm going to do the same thing for my ending point in that range. Command T. And now I can hit enter again, and we can drag that down. So now you can see that to the right, I have the count, or the number of times each serial number appeared in the list on the left. Now I'd like to determine the position of the serial number amongst the other serial numbers in the list. So is this the first time it shows up or the fifth time it shows up in that list? To do that, I'm going to use the COUNTIF function again, and I'm going to select the cell next to our count. So in this case here, it'll be C5. I'll type in equals COUNTIF. Our range, we're going to have a slight modification to the range. So we only want it to look no further than the current row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select cell A5 as our starting point in the range, and our ending point in the range is going to be cell A5 again, and our criteria is going to be cell A5, or the first serial number. I'm going to close the bracket and hit enter. So we know that this one appeared 6 times in our list, and currently this is the first instance of that serial number. Now I'm going to drag this down, but before I drag this down, I want to lock in the starting point of our range by putting a dollar sign in front of the 5, but I'm going to allow the range to continue to expand as we drag this down. So like this, we're not going to look at the future instances of the serial number, only up to the current cell. So let me just hit enter on that and drag that down, and I will show you what I mean. All right, so I'm just going to filter out the first serial number to demonstrate what I mean in terms of the sequence. All right, so here you can see that the first serial number appears 6 times, and now I know the sequence of each instance of that serial number, if it's the first, the second, the third, etc. Next, I'm going to clean this up by using the unique function. I would like to know how many times each serial number appears in the list, but I don't want it to necessarily show up that number of times. I've created a new tab at the bottom called Unique, and this is just because the unique function is going to spill out the results. So if there's 1,000 results, it's going to spill that out over 1,000 rows or columns. So I just want to make sure that nothing gets in the way. So to get started, I'm in my new tab called Unique, and I'm just going to enter the function or the formula equals unique, and there's 3 arguments, only one is mandatory. I'm going to only review the mandatory one because this is all we need to clean up our data. So the array is going to be our results from the previous examples under the COUNTIF tab. And so what I'm going to do is select the range that I want. Now I'm going to include the column titles as well, just because I want to have that help me organize the data on the next tab. So I've selected my range. I'm going to close my bracket and hit enter. So now this brought back each serial number only once, but I was also able to retain the number of times it appeared in the list. So I know that the first serial number was serviced 6 times, but I don't need to have it in my list 6 times. Another way we can clean up the data is by using the feature in Excel, Remove Duplicates. So to do that, I've created a new tab called Remove. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my information from the COUNTIF tab, which is the information that we've already gone through and counted and sequenced. I'm going to select all that. I'm going to copy that with Control-C. I'm going to go over to the Remove tab, and I'm going to paste that in with only the values. Now, if you're using Windows, it might be a little bit different to paste in your values. Let me see if you have that option here. Yeah, you should have an option over here to paste your values only. Yeah. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is just remove duplicates. So the remove duplicates is found under the Data tab. And look for this icon over here, Remove Duplicates. I'm just going to click that. It's going to ask me to confirm the columns or the range that it's going to analyze. I'm going to hit OK. And now I got the alert, 100 duplicate values found and removed, 200 unique values remain. But what you can see is that I still retained the number of times each serial number appeared in my original list. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please would appreciate a thumbs up, maybe even subscribing to my channel. I do plan on getting some videos out on a fairly regular basis. Thanks for watching.